Hello YouTube, this is StarCon633 and we're taking a look at another LEGO Bionicle review. This time we're going to take a look at Ekimu, the mask maker, in his Toa form. It is unfortunate that the LEGO Bionicle reboot has already been cancelled by the company, and it's understandable due to the fact that a lot of the other sets just weren't selling very well, and it's really unfortunate how it turned out. Currently, this is the only LEGO 2016 Bionicle Summer Wave that I own, and I have to admit, the Ekimu set is really nice in person, especially since there is at least a version of the Toa version of Ekimu released in the line. For those who have watched the Netflix series, which also unfortunately had a very short run, only with a couple of episodes, and a lot of them were a lot of recaps, so it's a bit of a bummer that it turned out in the situation that it did here. Unfortunately, because of what was seen in the cartoon, in the Netflix series, this is a little bit of a spoiler. Ekimu actually had his own creature of light, and unfortunately it did not make its way into the line before the line was cancelled. So this is the only character of light in the entire Bionicle 2016 reboot that we got, and obviously not including his smaller guardian form, but it's a real shame that it turned out that way. Anyways, the box is of the $15 price point for the LEGO Bionicle. It is built with 94 pieces. A lot of them are repeats of what we've seen with the other Toa, but there's also a lot of cool new parts to build the Toa as well. It also includes this really interesting mask, which we'll look at a minute as well. But anyways, we'll now take a look at Ekimu, the mask maker, a little closer. And here we have Ekimu, and next to his little guardian form, and it does actually translate pretty nicely. Obviously in this form, this is when he was basically in his, I guess you could say, sleeping state, since he lost a lot of power. And it just seemed like in order to combat the final evil, he had to go back to his full Toa form in order to join the fight against Makuta and Umarak. So, as you can see, it does look pretty nice together. They're just going to quickly detach Ekimu's regular mask and attach the standard mask of creation onto him and see how they look together. It is something that is weird, and that's the fact that there's a lot of clear parts on Ekimu, which I thought was really weird when I first saw the figure at one of the conventions. I forgot which one it was when I saw the photos online, but it does look pretty good in person actually, so I've grown on to the design quite nicely. Anyways, the set does include this corrupted version of Umarak's mask, which can also be attached here if you wanted to. Obviously this is not included with this set, but I guess you could just attach the corrupted Umarak mask onto the stand here. Sorry, it wasn't in frame. So, I guess that's pretty cool. Articulation-wise, it's pretty much the same we've seen with the Toa up to this point. He has ball joints in the shoulder pads, which is a separate ball joint in the front. He does have standard ball joints in the shoulders. He has a single joint in the elbow, which is also a ball joint, so you can move it a little bit left and right due to the way that the Toa designs are like. He has ball joints in the wrists, so you got a wide range of movement there. He has a ball joint for a head, which can look really nicely. And there's nothing much of a hindrance. You can move the parts in order to get it looking in most directions you can. He does have a waist joint, since he does have the really cool gear gimmick like the other Toa do. He has ball joints in the hips, ball joints in the knees, and ball joints in the ankles. So mostly it is still a Toa build, but he does have a lot of new and clear parts that make him look really interesting. He has a new design of his hammer. As you can see, it's got this really cool new clear crystal design, which I don't think I've ever seen up to this point. It might be in another LEGO set, but I can't tell. It's got this interesting looking shield compartment there, and he does hold it by a separate hammer piece on top and a long LEGO, basically the regular Technic strand piece at the bottom there. He does also maintain the shield, but now it is attached to his elbow. Well, not elbow, but his arm, instead of actually being held like normal. It's pretty much the same we've seen, but in clear, so they didn't actually make the shield any bigger or anything. It's pretty much about the same, so that's really cool. And now, as a final comparison, we will now look at it next to the rest of the 2016 Toa. And here are all the Toa together in the 2016 Bionicle reboot. It's definitely had a really short run, and it's unfortunate that LEGO decided to end it as fast as they did. These sets were really nice when they were getting released. Obviously, the creatures weren't as interesting, and I mean like the lava beasts and so on in the Summer Wave, but it is unfortunate, especially since we did not get a Makuta release in the 2016 Bionicle line, and that's a real shame. It seemed like they were at least trying to go for one more year, and it ended prematurely, so it's a real shame that it ended up as it did. We're now going to take a quick look at how the corrupted Umarak mask looks on Umarak. And I think it's actually going to look really menacing since he already has the very dark colors to begin with. So here it is with the mask attached to his head, and I think that looks really menacing, and I really like the design of Umarak in general. So I say that to at least round up the Toa, Ekimu is still worth the release, and unfortunately it is a little hard to find since it seems like a lot of areas just stopped selling it. It seems like either Lego.com or Toys R Us is pretty much your best bet of getting any of the summer 2016 sets, and I highly recommend picking it up, and I hope that Bionicle will return sooner, or if somehow LEGO changes their decision in the last minute. Anyways, please comment, subscribe, and check out Hero Taco and Hero Club. Also, please check down the other channels down below, and also, please check out Twitter under Darkon633. I'll be back with more reviews, but for now, I'll be sending you to, and long live Bionicle 2016.